are back at it again. Carolina Panthers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a divisional game, so we absolutely need to win this game. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are pretty good here. Even in a 10-year simulation, they're still pretty good. The division is pretty much coming down to the two of us, the two teams, the Panthers and the Bucs. So we definitely have to win this game. So we'll see what happens throughout this game. Yeah, so our defense has been getting better. We're still number one in the league in forcing turnovers, which I'm very proud of. That's the number one thing that's big for me. We're still at the bottom of the pack in total yards, so we got to work on that. The defense does need to get better in that regard. So we need, which only means that we need to get off the field in a very timely manner. You know, even though we want teams to dink and dunk on us, we want teams to throw short and all this kind of stuff on us. We don't want to give up any big plays or anything like that. So that's the biggest thing with this team. But even with that, you know, we still have to get off the field, and we're having trouble with that. There's our first pick already. We've only been 2 minutes into this game. We got a pick already. So I love this team. I love the fact that we can just, you know, get turnovers so quickly. We did score on offense. So that means that, you know, we are definitely going to be playing the pass quite often. I mean, that's not unless they, you know, just run the ball anyway. I mean, just try to run it down on throws, which most teams try to do against us. Some teams do have fairly good success against us when they run, but not that much success. I would say that we average about maybe about 65, 70 yards per game against us. So that's not that bad. It could be much, much, much better, which it will after this season once we make the additional changes we need in our scheme. But it's still fairly okay against the run, and all that means is that, you know, they're going to waste a lot of time, a lot of clock, because we don't really give up big plays on the run, against the run. That's what usually happens. You know, the Gay has stuffed them, so usually that's what happens. You know, they get stuffed, but every now and then they will break out for a good 7-8 yard run or a 15-yard run, but you know, that's about it. 1 or 2 of those per game. Almost another pick. I'm loving this pass defense. I'm loving this secondary too. This is a very talented secondary we have. We also have very talented linebackers. They know how to get to those spots and those zones very quickly. So I'm very proud of those guys. So we got off the field. That's exactly what we wanted. And it's 4th and 6 now, and they're punting. And that's a beautiful thing, because that's what you want your defense to do. No matter what build or what package you have or what you're doing with your team on defense, the biggest thing is to either make them drive down the field against you and or get off the field as fast, as quickly as possible. Of course, we want to get off the field as quickly as possible, but you know, you want to play chess a little bit. You want to kind of go back and forth with the quarterback a little bit. Yes, that could bite you in the butt. Sometimes they will drive down the field and score, you know, and waste 6 minutes off the clock and all that. But, you know, you want to set up that situation to create opportunities for you to make plays. And that's the bottom line. That's what you're playing defense for. It's not to get everything all at once. It's not to get as many interceptions as possible or to try to cheese and take advantage of glitches and none of that kind of stuff. It's about actually playing and strategizing, which is what most of you do on offense. If you could carry that over to the defense, your defense will be absolutely dominant. You will dominate on defense every single time. but you've got to put in the time and the effort to cultivate your defense and put in the same amount of care and attention to your defense as much as you do your offense. We had a really good play, that last play, where we hit him as he was releasing the ball. But now they're doing their check down passes and their short passes now, because we're getting pressure on him. So now he's doing his little dink and dunk stuff. There you see a hook. He's throwing to, the throwing hook plays and curls and all that kind of stuff. So probably in a little while you're going to see me play some man-to-man, so that we can cover those hooks and those curls more effectively, instead of creating holes in our zones and stuff. But right now we're just playing steady, taking it easy, trying to just force them to make decisions in their check downs and run plays. Okay, so they hit us with the shallow cross there. Yeah, and guys, it's like the whole thing with building your defense is, the first year you should expect to struggle. I mean, I'm just letting you know that, and I'm not saying that you're going to be dead last in every statistical category, but certain statistics like total yards, you should kind of expect to be in the middle of the pack, if not at the bottom of the pack, because your defense is still kind of green. That was good defense there. That was a good bat down. But you should expect your defense to make mistakes and to do certain things. They're not going to be perfect. It's not about perfection. It's not about, trying to get 20 sacks a game and all that kind of stuff. It's about just playing steady and keeping the offense under control, so that you can make a play when it's time to make a play. And when those opportunities come, they're going to come in certain pivotal moments, which is what you want. But you can't really expect your defense to be perfect off the top, especially when you are trying to create a build and you're trying to build upon your scheme, and you're trying to get the players, which preferably they should be in the draft, a mixture of draft of good young drafted players and a good mix of veterans, guys who are like in their early 30s, late 20s, who have ratings that are like between 78, 80, 81. That's a real good touch there, because those guys can support your scheme, especially when you have blitz packages and stuff and your audible packages. You're definitely going to need that blend. I wish we would have sacked him there, but it was a little bit of that block cheese down there, because I pretty much had him. But I should have sacked him there. That should have been a sack. The red zone is a funny area, because you even though you may not be sure what they're going to do, one thing that you should assume that they are going to do is pass. They love passing down here in the red zone. If I had my choice, I would prefer for them to run in. I know it sounds weird, but I would prefer for them to run in than for them to pass in, because if they're going to pass, I want to take advantage of those opportunities to make a play on the ball when they pass, as opposed to trying to stuff the run and trying to do that, because when you try that, then that's where all the trouble happens, and they're going to pass anyway. They pass out of it, and because they call themselves trying to trick you. When they pass out of a jumbo package, or pass out of them being so tight in the red zone. Okay, so here we are. Here we have them pinned back, and just expect some cheese. That should have been a pick. But okay. Expect a lot of cheese down here. A lot of the 90-yard 85-yard, drive cheese. I'm surprised we were able to, stop them there. I mean, I'm really honestly surprised. But we got a 3-and-out, so I'm proud of the guys there. So we got a 3-and-out, and they're punting it back to our offense. And we got off the field as soon as possible, and that's good. Okay, so we've punted and pinned them back once again. Pinned them back on their own 7-yard line. So we'll see what kind of cheese awaits here too. I always expect cheese to happen. I always expect something to happen when you pin them back, because for whatever reason, that's just what happens. You get them pinned back so deep after you punt, and all of a sudden they just turn up and they just drive all the way down the field. So let's see if I can stop them here, which is what I'm going to try to do, obviously. So there's a first down there, a run first down. And let's see. So, yeah, as I said before, when you're playing defense on Madden, you're going to have to mix things up. I'm going to keep stressing this at every commentary that I do with these games. You're going to have to mix things up. You're going to have to mix your packages, your coverages, mix your looks up front, so you could throw them off balance. There are times where you are going to need to overload a side, where you're going to need to, perform certain things. Oh, there's a pick there. Beautiful play. That was beautiful. That's exactly what happens when you mix things up. Every time you mix things up, you should eventually expect a turnover to happen. Always expect a turnover to happen, because eventually it will happen. It's very rare when you play these games. When you play each game that you don't get a turnover, like, at all. It's very rare that happens. It does happen, but it's very rare that happens, because you are mixing things up so much. So eventually you are going to make plays, and eventually you are going to, get what you want, a pick, a fumble, something. He kind of juked him out of his shoes right there, that last play. But yeah, so every play I always expect to pass. I don't really blitz that often. I will blitz, so I could stuff the run like that. Like if I think that a particular play is inevitably going to be a run, like if I think that they're going to run, period, like it's just almost obvious, then I will blitz, and I will more than likely get a stuff play like you just saw there in that last play. But other than that, I do play the pass quite often. And it works a lot of times, because as you can see here, it's the third quarter. There's 5 minutes left, and it's still 10-7. The quarterback only has 143 yards passing. The running back only has 44 yards rushing. So these are the kinds of things that you should expect. Okay, you want to control the game. You want to control each and every situation. So, every now and then you might give up a big play. Something might happen, a blown coverage. That's just what happens. But this is the pace and the kind of interaction you want to have against offenses when you're playing defense. So, here I am audibling again. I think I'm going to a cover 3, and they're running on that play. Ooh, look at that stiff arm. Okay, I'll give him that. That little stiff arm that he gave my corner. Yeah. So you just saw up top, they only have 212 total yards. There I go shifting again. So sometimes I will shift and shift back. That does cause, the defense to have a lot of holes when you do that. Like when you do quick audibles like that, because I'm audibling and shifting between man to zone coverage. So right now I think I'm blitzing. I think I'm going to man. And there's a stuff. So I anticipated that they were going to run there. So I just kind of had the feeling that they were going to rush. And they had their run package too. So I just knew that's what was going to happen. I think I'm blitzing again. Yeah. And I overloaded to one side. I think I overloaded too much on the right side, and that's what created that small hole there for him to that gap for him to run through. So that was a bad audible. So we're playing zone. I think we're playing a cover three. Yeah, he held the ball a little bit too long there. I wish my lineman would have got to him a little bit sooner. But we did stop them. So all they ended up with was a field goal. So that was a good sequence, and they did drive down down the field. So they almost scored on us, scored a touchdown, and such. But this was a really close game. This was a really good game. As you can see, we're tied. We're tied at 17. Both defenses did play fairly well. My offense was struggling a little bit, but we did manage to have a really, really good running game. So we were able to cut a lot of time off the clock and score touchdowns at the same time. Wow, that should have been a pick. I really hate when that happens. When I play perfect defense and I shift to the right defense, and my guys don't get a pick, that really pisses me off a lot. But I do know that this defense is new, and we're just getting used to my scheme. So I'm not too hard on them. That was a good stuff there. That was a really good run stuff. So they don't have a choice right now but to pass. I mean, I don't mind when they run, especially in the 4-minute offense, which is what they're in right now. I really don't mind when they run. It's like, hey, do what you want to do. We're going to stop you anyway. This was a massive blown coverage, a massively blown coverage. I was really, really, really pissed off when this happened. There was no reason for us to give up a play that big, but it is what it is. We have to stop them here. But yeah, this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Every now and then that's going to happen. There's going to be blown coverages. I think I played a cover 6. I think I played a 6-man cover, and I think guys were just trying to lurk. I think my corner was trying to lurk on that play and just got ran by. So, I really hate when that happens, especially when you do play a cover 6. I played on that play, the last play, I think I played the cover 6, the play that got blown. I think that was a cover 6 invert. So you got to be careful with some of these cover 6s because those guys tend to lurk. A lot of the corners and the safeties do lurk a lot, on the cover 6. So you got to be very careful with that. You basically only need to play the cover 6 if the quarterback is trying to get quick plays off, if they're really trying to, get the ball out quick and all that kind of stuff. So we made the stop. We needed to. They're going to score here, obviously. Yeah. So that was pretty much the end of the game. The offense, I think we threw a pick or something at the end of the game, but yeah, it is what it is. Our defense played as best it could, but we came up short. So until next time, signing out. You guys have a great day.